Hello, everyone. My name is Anna Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder, I do every video in English and Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus house system. In today's video, I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek of the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, which will happen at the Aries point, which is at 0 degrees of Aries on February 20th of 2026. But this is, like I said, a sneak peek because I'm mostly going to be speaking about Russia. But before I do that, let me give you some dates so that you can plan accordingly. Now, we've already experienced this energy this past summer, right? June, like the latter part of June, July, August, and I think like maybe the first few days of September, Saturn and Neptune were within orb, right? But they were not, the conjunction was not exact. So this is going to happen, like I said, on February 20th of 2026 at 0 degrees of Aries, otherwise known as the Aries point. So it's like a reset for society, for everybody, depending on, on your chart, where that 0 Aries point happens. Now, this conjunction is going to take place 3 days after an eclipse in Aquarius at 28 degrees and 56 minutes, which happens on February 17th of 2026. And as you guys know, eclipses do not bring good news. That's just, that is what it is. So Saturn in Aries, the orbit is about 2.5 years in each sign. We already experienced, we had a taste of this energy from May 24th of 2025 to September 1st of 2025. And then Saturn will ingress in Aries again on February 13th of 2026 through April 12th of 2028. Neptune in Aries, the orb is about 15 years. Because the cycle is 165 years, and you know that the cycle of Saturn is about 30 years. So Neptune in Aries, we already had a taste from March 30th of 2025 to October 22nd of 2025. It will ingress again in Aries on January 26th of 2026 to May 21st of 2038. And then October 21st, 2038 to March 23 of 2039. The exact conjunction again is on February 20th, 2026. And this Saturn conjunction, Saturn-Neptune conjunction happens about every 37 years, So again, I'm only going to speak about Russia this time. In September 17th, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction happened in 4 degrees of Leo. It was the Bolshevik Revolution. You know, the Romanovs, which were it was Nicola Romanov, was the Tsar of Russia, and his whole family were assassinated. They were killed. And there's a play out there that's called Anastasia, and it talks about her life. And if you don't want me to spoil the video for you or spoil the play for you, then skip a few seconds because I went to see the play last year. And of course, I had to look up her chart and see the outcome of it. And she was assassinated, right? You know, I didn't do it. I didn't do it during the play, obviously, but once we left, once we got to the parking garage, I'm like, okay, let me look at the chart. I'm like, yes, Neptune conjunct the sun, she was assassinated. She also had a spiritual life, very spiritual life. But anyhow, all right, so in 1952, Saturn and Neptune met at 22 degrees of Libra. So Stalin, who was a horrible dictator, he died. And then in 1989, Saturn and Neptune met at 11 degrees of Capricorn, and it was the end of the Soviet Union. So as you can see, This Saturn-Neptune conjunction has pretty significant things for Russia. There are major events. So I said I wanted to do a really short video on this topic now, so maybe you can take advantage um, about what I'm going to say. Now, financial disclaimer, this is not financial advice, um, but I watch some financial channels and I listen to what they say and then I try to relate it to the astrology. So here we go. This Saturn-Neptune conjunction, it's going to relate to Russia, it's going to relate to Venezuela and Cuba, because this cycle also relates to communism. Now, a little bit of history. Guess who has the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in their charts? President Vladimir Putin, which the conjunction is in Libra. Xi Jinping, the president of China, who also has the conjunction in Libra. So this conjunction now is going to happen. It's going to be in opposition because it's going to happen in Aries to both of these leaders' charts. And wait for it, like the commercial says, but there's more, right? President Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela, he has a natal square between Neptune and Saturn. So I'll do a full video on the Saturn-Neptune conjunction next month for mundane and for all of the ascendants. But for right now, Neptune, I'm just going to relate it to the energy part. Neptune rules petroleum and it rules natural gas. It also rules medicine and pharmaceuticals and photography, etc. But for right now, we're just going to concentrate on petroleum and natural gas. Saturn rules limitations, obligations, obstacles, and it has the power to say no. So the potential outcomes, in my opinion, of what this Saturn conjunction can bring, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction can bring, we can have a shortage of oil, of petroleum, of gasoline, whatever you want to call it, right? I would research, again, this is not financial advice, but I would research oil stocks, oil producing companies, natural gas stocks like energy stocks, and see if they have a potential, an upside potential, because this is the time to invest in these stocks. I haven't had time to do any research, but I'm definitely going to look into this. So I can't recommend any stocks that I would go into at this point in time. But this would make sense because Neptune in Aries brings hyperinflation. So hyperinflation is probably going to be due to the high transportation costs because oil is going to be there's going to be some kind of shortage in oil. So if when you have a resource that's lacking, the price goes up, or natural gas as well. Obviously, there can be tariffs involved, or maybe like supply chain shortages, etc., that could also cause hyperinflation. But that's why I'm looking, or I will be looking into oil stocks. So this conjunction, as you've seen, impacts Russia tremendously. And Nicola Stoyanovich, who is the astrologer that came up with the degree theory, said that Russia was ruled by Pisces and Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So that's why I think there will be a change in leadership in Russia, in Venezuela, and Cuba. All three because they are the communist countries. Sorry about that little interruption, but guess who's joined us for the video. So anyway, I think that Vladimir Putin, obviously Nicolas Maduro, and whoever the president or the dictator of Cuba is, which I don't know anymore, um, I think there will be a change in leadership because when there's a shortage in oil, that will knock out Russia, Venezuela, and Cuba because they all feed off each other. Cuba is dependent on Venezuela and Russia for oil, or it has been. And I'm hoping that that's the case. I'm hoping that communism ends in these countries because my dad is not doing well. And I would want him to see his country free of communism. That's why he fled Cuba. So hopefully this will happen before he passes away. So, on another note, there can be an oil spill or something that intoxicates the water, Neptune, like the ocean. Because remember, the fixed star sheet is also at 29 degrees of Pisces, so this conjunction is happening right very, very close. It's significant. And obviously, the price of oil is going to go up big time. So, if you live in a winter, like where there's a lot of snow, where it gets really, really cold, if I were you, I would invest in wood or some other alternate way to heat your home because if the price of, not if, when the price of oil goes up, your electric bill is going to be huge, to warm your house this winter. So anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know. Again, this is not financial advice, but this is what I see coming, in my opinion, of what's going to happen, of one of the things that can happen, or a couple of things that can happen with this conjunction now. Will it happen exactly on February 20th? I don't think so, but it opens the window. And remember, there's the applying aspect is always stronger, but this is a cycle that happens every so often. And like I said, I'll be doing another video next year on the full conjunction, and I'll give you more historic dates because I didn't have time to finish it because there's a lot of information, and I will do the 12 ascendants. All right. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. If you find this video interesting and it's helped you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, send it to somebody else who might be interested. And also, if you would like a natal chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology. Thank you at AOL.com. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.